It is Friday. I'm not working today, which is really nice, and it's getting colder outside, hence the sweater. Also, what's exciting is that this winter, which is different than other winters, because I think I just bought a car. I met at the post office to transfer the ownership from her to me. I know for a lot of people that's like a no-brainer, like I've had a car since I'm 16. I could easily just go my whole life with public transportation because it's pretty good here. But the fact that I have a car, it is just so much freedom, especially on the Sabbath when like you're in a different city, not in Jerusalem, and you can't like get to people. So I have to wait outside in the freezing cold for the bus and be miserable outside. And literally having a car just changes your life. I'm going to go and collect the key, or the other key that we forgot yesterday, from the lady that I bought a car from. Her name is Ibtisam. She's a really, really sweet person. So join me. I think it's gonna be nice to feel good in my own car.
This is our first rain in 8 months. I love it. We've been waiting for the rain for a long time and praying.
Always waiting for me. You don't care about the rain? Ibtisam got me the spare key, which I'm really happy about. And I saw on the way a flower stall. So what they do here is on Friday, they sit outside and put this little thing for the shade and sell flowers on the side of the street. People love to bring flowers home and make the house really nice for Sabbath and give it to their guest or whoever. So thank God I brought cash with me so that I can buy flowers for my mom. My mom is wonderful. Every single Friday she just cleans and she cooks a meal for us and she just does so much for everyone. So instead of going straight home, I decided to go to a view place. We call it a tatspit, which means to like outlook on something. It's a really beautiful place and it has a little tiny park and benches. So something that you will actually find a lot in Israel is a lot of like parks or benches are dedicated to people that have died from like terror attacks for the memory of Stav Fartush, who was a soldier. So I'm gonna walk down the trail that goes further into like this little forest place. The air is super fresh. It just washed away all of the dust that was before. Actually, I sort of need to be careful because I can feel, I could slide down this thing. Like, woo. They built here a really nice man-made lake and put a restaurant and put like a stage for people to be able to see performances. You think that, you know, people post things and people go to places, and I'm not entirely sure that that is enough to make a person feel that they're not lonely. This is like the third time I've tried to record this bit because what I'm realizing is that I feel extremely vulnerable talking about this. I've been thinking a lot lately about the subject of loneliness. Not out of nowhere, but because I feel very lonely at this time of life. You know, especially when you come back home and everything is different. People have left. Where I am in society is very different, and I'm coming back as a 30-year-old and not as a 20-something-year-old. And so all of those factors combined, it's just... it's difficult. Like, it's genuinely difficult. There's almost like a risk factor in admitting it because you feel maybe pathetic, or you feel like you're admitting out loud that nobody loves you. This is not true. I don't think that people do not like me. I don't think that people hate me. I just think that there's circumstances in which, you know, life is sometimes just lonely. I'm single and people have gotten married, people are having kids, and I'm realizing that I'm really not the only one that feels this way. People can really hide easily what they feel until you ask them, and then they start crying and they're like, I feel really lonely. This is very honest. A few days ago, I had this particularly lonely day in which I was just combating loneliness and thinking about the fact that I wasn't invited to anywhere on a Friday night or whatever. And it was really difficult, and I had to like find creative ways to like not get sucked into that, you know, whirlwind of loneliness in my head. So what I did is I was looking up cutlery online because I'll need cutlery for my new apartment. And I was thinking about when I live in the city that I will make sure that my house is always filled with people and people are invited and people can come over and no one should be alone on a Friday night. It helped me to sort of think outside the box and think in a bigger way, like how can I not only combat my loneliness but help other people combat theirs. I was listening to a podcast the other day. I think the title was Will I Be Alone Forever? And he was talking about the fact that God is there. It was really hard for me to hear that in a different way, because you hear that all of your life, but God is with you. I became sort of desensitized to those words, God is with you, because when you're lonely, when you're anxious, when you're stressed, you don't feel God. But it's an inner knowing that gets you to the place where when you feel those things, the inner knowing shifts what you feel. I had this moment during the podcast that he was talking about, you know, being single. I said to myself all of a sudden, oh, it's okay because I have God. And it was a genuine, I really do have God. Something broke off of me, some kind of a type of loneliness that I had before, of feeling like God himself isn't with me because I feel so lonely. That broke off of me. And I don't know what the turning point is for everyone. I think you never get there if you don't keep looking at him. If you don't bring your loneliness to him constantly, then you will probably feel, for the most part, just alone. I guess the knowledge of knowing that God is with you gives you comfort in every situation. And I'm not invisible. I think that's the most important thing. I'm not invisible. Okay. Enough of loneliness. I have a work thing to do, so I'm gonna go back home, and most of the siblings should come back tonight for Friday. We're having dinner, and my aunt is here from the States, so that's an exciting thing.
Testing. We also don't want a vaccine that's good for only one variant, but I'm also not against vaccines. Thank you, thank you. Thanks.
Oh my gosh, I wish I could just hug you, you know?
I know, me too.
It's okay. It's about maybe 12:30 a.m. and I had a really wonderful time with my family. It's really great to have my aunt here from Florida. I think when we were having dessert, I sort of was sitting and observing everyone, and I looked at every single individual in my family and I thought, wow, I love every single one of them so much, and it really made me grateful, you know? When I was in the States, it was very lonely and I didn't always have, you know, where to do dinner on a Friday night. And the fact that I have my family, not everyone has family. I really sort of caught myself being like, oh, be grateful for this. Like, not only do I have a family, but I have a great family. I think that makes you feel less lonely when you appreciate what you have when you can be with people and when you can experience life with them, it's priceless. It's not like anything else. You can't buy it, you know? It's not something that you can work for or earn. It's something that just, if you have it, you should hold on to it. And I guess that gratefulness made me feel less lonely. Cup half full instead of half cup. Cup half, I keep saying it wrong. Cup half full instead of cup half empty. Goodness. So that's my experience of loneliness and gratitude and how to overcome it. And I would really, really love to hear how you guys overcome loneliness. What do you guys do to make life just a bit more better? Write it in the comments below. I'd love to read it. And also like and subscribe to this channel if there's anyone that you know that loves to hear about Israel or just wants to join the journey of discovering what home is and what wholeness is. Share this with them. Anyways, I'm tired. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night.